1,000 seats at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, but they filled them with no problem. Another Steelers sellout, 59,000 fans on hand to watch their beloved Steelers go against John Elway and the Denver Broncos, and for Elway, of course, his NFL debut. And there is Elway. He'll be going up against Jack Lambert and company. Lambert, one of the links to the 4 Super Bowl teams, back for another season at linebacker. It's a completely opposite story on the other side. Cliff Stout was on an NFL roster for 56 games before he ever took a snap. He's in for the injured Terry Bradshaw, facing Randy Gradishar and the rest of the Orange Crush defense. Hello, everybody. Bob Costas along with Bob Trumpy. Welcome to weekend 1 of another NFL season, and without adding to the hysteria, and it is just that, especially around Denver, the question has to be about John Elway. Here it is, game 1 for him.
Well, I feel sorry for the kid. He is a target today for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the most celebrated debut of any player to come in the NFL. Unfortunately for Denver, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is back. Jack Lambert is the headliner, but they've got 16 or 17 guys that can play great defense and they get to the quarterback. On the other side, Cliff Stout replacing Terry Bradshaw is a little more conservative a quarterback. And the Denver defense is also playing very well. Last year, they didn't play well at all. This year, they also can get to the quarterback, and they really stop the run. This is a game that a lot of people are looking forward to, and it's a rude beginning, I believe, for a career for John Elway, but he does have the talent to play.
He's going to be playing here on an exceptionally warm day. What, if any, effect might that have?
Shouldn't do anything to him. He's going to be nervous no matter what the temperature is or what the game conditions are. He should play well.
NBC Sports presents the best of the National Football League. Today's game is brought to you by Dodge Cars, America's driving machines, and Dodge Ram Tough trucks. By Refreshing Hawaiian Punch. And by Goodyear, makers of Wrangler all-season radials for light trucks. At age 39 in his 3rd season as the Broncos coach. He's 12-13 overall with them, 10-6 the first time, and then 2-7 last year in the strike-interrupted season. Chuck Noll in his 15th year as the Steelers head coach at 51 years of age. His team has won 4 Super Bowls and made the playoffs 9 of the last 11 years. Rich Karlis kicks off for Denver. Henry Odom will field it, and he gets outside with some running room. Odom, number 44. Taken down at about the 33-yard line. Odom, a rookie from South Carolina State, came close to breaking it, but he was run down. Here is Stout coming on with Walter Abercrombie in his 2nd year out of Baylor, joining the veteran Franco Harris as his running backs. John Stallworth, Calvin Sweeney, with Jim Smith having defected to the USFL, and Benny Cunningham, the tight end, are the targets for Stout. And there's the offensive line. Ray Pinney went to Michigan of the USFL. Ted Peterson is in his place. Abercrombie gets the call, but he's spun down for a loss by Louis Wright, number 20, who came up from the left corner spot. Chavis, Carter, and Rulon. 4. Small, quick linebackers, Swenson, Busick, Gradishar, Tom Jackson, excellent group. Wright and Harden are the corners, and Harden is perhaps the weak link. Dennis Smith, the strong safety, and Steve Foley at free. 2nd down, 12 from the 32. Stout goes to Franco, dancing, trying to find some room, but only a couple of yards, leaving them 3rd and about 10.
Bob, the most obvious difference in the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively with Cliff Stout at quarterback is a little more conservative. Terry Bradshaw, always known for taking a chance and putting the ball up in the air. Franco Harris, the all-time leading ball carrier in rushing attempts in the NFL, I would think is going to be very busy today.
Greg Hawthorne, a better pass receiver, number 27, comes in. Walter Abercrombie goes out. Defensive backs are in for the Broncos. Stout is given time, but now has to scramble and cut from behind. Rulon Jones and Barney Chavis were both there on the tackle. So Stout's first series, Trump, is not a success.
Stout is a little more deliberate in his actions as a quarterback. Bradshaw is very, very able to move around back there. Stout stays on the receiver for quite a while, tries to make the completion.
Craig Coldwit. It's a punt for Pittsburgh. Zach Thomas fields it. Thomas, a rookie out of South Carolina State, is across the 30-yard line. A 38-yard kick by Colquitt, who sat out last year with an Achilles tendon injury and then won his job back in training camp from John Goodson. Elway's first series coming up. Sammy Winder and Rick Parros are his running backs. Gerald Wilhite is on the injured reserve list. Upchurch, Watson, and Jim Wright now the tight end. Riley Odom's having been waived. Mark Cooper, the left guard, is a rookie, their second-round draft choice. He's Elway's roommate. And the handoff is to Winder, and Sammy Winder bangs out for perhaps 5 yards on the first down carry. Pittsburgh has gone to the 3-4 in the last couple of years. Willis, Dunn, and Beasley across the front. Jack Ham gone, Mike Merriweather in. Lambert, Taves, and Cole are mainstays. Woodruff and Mel Blunt in his 14th season are the corners. Donnie Shell, the strong safety, and Ron Johnson is the free safety. Nathan Poole, number 34, joins Winder now.
Choosing also to be very conservative with John Elway. 2 runs. There's Nathan Poole. Excellent job by Robin Cole. Comes underneath the block and is there to trip up Nate Poole. They had good field position there. It was a 2nd down and 4. Now it's 3rd and 4. And if you can keep Pittsburgh out of that 2nd and 6 or 7 defense that they run, 5 defensive backs, great advantage for the offense.
He lobs it out for Winder, and it's incomplete. Well, Minnesota really threw the blitzes on Elway in the last preseason game as they demolished Denver in that ball game, and Pittsburgh follows suit here.
Head football coaches are great copycats. You see Lambert, you see Taves on the blitz. I'll tell you what, though, that was still well thrown by Elway. You see the pressure coming from the middle. He keeps that ball high, knows the pressure is there. I believe Sammy Winder turned the wrong way, or he might have made a completion, and the Steelers will continue to blitz until Denver can somehow stop it.
Luke Preston gets off a bad punt, and it's going to be down near the 30-yard line. Only a 32-yard kick by Preston. So the Steelers have the ball back. Neither team able to manage a first down. 11 minutes and 2 seconds to play in the first quarter.
It used to be consulting with Steve DeBerg, his backup, in the first series out of the way for John Elway for his official NFL career. I'm sure he's glad to get that first series out of the way. Now he's just any other football player in the NFL.
Down and Harris for about 4 yards. Franco comes in today with 10,943 career yards. He's a cinch barring injury to pass O.J. Simpson and move into 2nd place on the all-time list. He needs just 294 yards to do that. He needs 1,370 yards to go past Jimmy Brown's all-time record of 12,312.
Even more impressively is that he is the NFL's all-time leading rusher in attempts. And in postseason play, he's rushed for literally 2 more seasons.
Stout to the air and finding Abercrombie, who jumbles it and can't hold it.
Good choice by Pittsburgh. The Denver defense is very, very active. There's Chavis 79 on Larry Brown 79, like number. This ball could have been caught, although Stout threw it a little bit low. When you throw screen passes, the running back has to get his head around as quickly as possible to look for that first block. It must be an accurate throw between the numbers. It's not acceptable if it's waist high.
Now Hawthorne has come in to replace Abercrombie. On 3rd down, 7. Stout over the middle of Calvin Sweeney. Sweeney with some awfully big shoes to fill. Lynn Swan having retired. Jim Smith having gone to the USFL, and Sweeney, who, as you see, has been productive in limited playing time, averaging better than 20 yards a catch in his first few seasons in the NFL, makes the first down grab in Denver territory. Roger Jackson, number 28, made the tackle.
Man-to-man coverage underneath, zone deep. And Pittsburgh beats it the first time. That'll run Denver out of that defense the next time.
Outside the Denver 47. Stout will throw on first down. And he'll connect again, this time to Benny Cunningham, the big tight end. Biggest tight end in the league, a gain of 15. Cunningham, 6'5", 260 pounds. Green Bay jumps in front of Houston 7-0. Lynn Dickey to Paul Kaufman, 22 yards for the first TD of the game. We'll be in Green Bay next week, Trump. Steelers go in there against the Pack. A lot of people think that Green Bay is a club to be reckoned with this year in that National Conference. Frank Pollard now makes his first appearance in the backfield. Franco loses the football, and it's Stout who has to make the stop. Now, that ball was lateral forward. They're going to have to bring Mike Harden back. I mean, that's a good idea, but really can't allow it, Trump.
Great play by Rulon Jones. Jumped underneath the block of Ted Peterson. Was right there to take the handoff just as Stout handed it to Franco Harris. Big turnover. You'll watch. You see, oh, it's Tom Jackson, excuse me, that makes the contact. And Rulon Jones hands on the ball. Good blitz by Denver. Excellent choice of time. Pittsburgh has just made a big first down. He wasted all that energy. Elway with good field position. And Bob, if I may make the point, I do believe that field position today for both of these teams offensively is the most important cog to winning.
Illegal forward pass. Recovering team. Advance the ball forward.
The football is placed at the 35-yard line of the Broncos. You heard the announcement by referee Jerry Seaman. 8 minutes and 47 seconds to play in the first quarter. Denver has the ball back. No score.
It's easy to forget Valvoline was the first to show you how to save money by changing your own oil. And it's easy to forget Valvoline was the first to put 12 quarts in a handy carry-out case. And it's easy to forget Valvoline is the choice of leading race drivers the world over. Yep, it's easy to forget all this about Valvoline, as long as you remember Valvoline is everything you need in a motor oil.
I adore my 64, my Commodore 64. I cook with it, steam with it, educate the team with it. My Commodore 64. I pitch with it, catch with it, count my chicks before the hatch with it. My Commodore 64.
64K memory at a price that will put a computer in every home, business, and school years before anyone ever dreamed.
I adore my 64, my Commodore 64.
Tonight on the Sunday Night Movie, let Lee Fall Guy Major show you how to lose your double chin and look sexy. In the movie you can really sink your teeth into, Piranha.
Trump, that fumble recovery by Rulon Jones had to be heartening for Dan Reeves. Last year, the Broncos turned the ball over 36 times, far and away the most in the NFL. No other team had more than 26 turnovers. So that's a statistic they like to reverse. They're on the long end of it here. And Elway is going to go up top. He's looking for Upchurch. There might be interference, and there is. Wayne Woodruff had the coverage, number 49. And Denver's going to have the ball at about the 23-yard line of Pittsburgh.
Good choice by Dan Reeves. First series, he was rather conservative. 2 handoffs and then 1 desperation throw to Sammy Winder against the blitz. And nowadays it seems in the NFL that the passing down, the pure passing down, is first down. Because then you know you got 3 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs.
Pass interference. Number 49.
That's That's against Dwayne Woodruff. And that's a very long first down. And now Denver can go with about 80% of their offensive plays. When you're between the 20s, 80% of the offensive plays are designed to be used in that area.
Watson in motion on the first down play from the 23-yard line. Winder will carry, and Winder squirts through for decent first down yardage. There's a lot of pressure on this rookie from southern Mississippi. They're without Gerald Wilhite, who has a hamstring injury and will miss at least the first 4 games. Very quietly, Wilhite last year compiled the best average per carry in the league, with the exception of Freeman McNeil of the Jets, who was the league's leading rusher. So Wilhite was a valuable man, and they're without him.
Not a bad second place. Crucial down here. Can't get in that third down and long yardage situation.
This will be 2nd and 5. Harros and Winder are the backs. Harros and Poole have been bringing in the plays from the sideline. Here's Winder. He gets 3. Lauren Taves makes the tackle.
I'll make the comment that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has got to get a feeling that they're playing against the Minnesota over Cleveland, 7-0. 1-yard run by Ted Brown. Dan Radakovich is now the offensive line coach of the Denver Broncos. Used to be here in Pittsburgh. Denver has now gone to a lot more traps than they used to run. And so therefore the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has got to be feeling playing their own team. St. Louis over New Orleans, 7-0. 11-yard pass. Lomax to Marsh.
Now from the 15. Out of the shotgun, Elway with loads of time, but he's sacked and loses the football. Lambert hit him. And we'll have to wait for them to unpile, but it looks like Tom Beasley, number 65, who's got the football. Well, they may be right today. This is something of a carryover from the last preseason game against Minnesota, when Elway was 11 of 32, had 3 intercepted, was sacked 5 times, and fumbled 3 times. Lambert will jar it loose, and Tom Beasley, number 65, will jump on it. The Denver threat goes by the boards. The Steelers have the ball at their 20.
I refinished this beautiful piece all by myself, and I can't even change a light bulb.
A pro wanted $300 to refinish this. I did it myself for $15.
Formby's Furniture Refinisher can make a believer out of you because it works unlike anything you've ever seen. It dissolves old varnish lacquer shellac without stripping, sanding, or scraping. With my Furniture Refinisher, it's a pleasure to create a treasure.
Homer Formby. No one knows wood as good.
Now, try my new wood stains and finishes, too.
This is the 1983 Dodge Ram 50, America's lowest priced truck. At $56.65, it's loaded with value, with more standard horsepower and a bigger standard payload than Chevy S10 or Ford Ranger. And right now, you can save big with $200 or $500 factory rebates, the kind that make this remarkable value even easier to own. Dodge Ram 50 doesn't look or act like America's lowest priced truck. Dodge trucks are Ram tough.
Very end of the play, 58 Jack Lambert by Ken Lanier. Watch Elway take his handoff ball right there. Rookie mistake. Keep both hands on that football when you're around it in traffic in the NFL. Keep both hands on it, and then they can't just knock it away from you. That he'll learn.
Stout will throw on first down. It's deflected. Nothing but white shirts in the vicinity, but nobody can come up with it. Greg Hawthorne was the intended target, and Steve Busick, one of the inside linebackers, knocked it away. Busick, number 58. Trump, you made the point that both these clubs, in an era of bigger linebackers, still feature light, quick linebackers.
Bob, I think that's the direction of defense in the NFL. I don't think we have a linebacker on the field today that weighs more than 228 pounds. They can all run, cover backs out of the backfield, and are very, very tough hitters.
2nd and 10. Stout rolling left. Got some room to run, gets 6, maybe 7 before going out of bounds. Cliff Stout has played in a total of just 15 NFL games, counting this one, even though this is his 7th year. He actually qualified for a pension and picked up a couple of Super Bowl rings without ever taking a snap in a regular game, just waiting behind Terry Bradshaw, who had elbow surgery this past March and is out for at least the first 4 games and probably longer. Just the second start for Stout. His first one was very impressive. In 1980 at Cleveland, he threw for over 300 yards, but they lost the game. 3rd and 3. Lots of time and a target. Was it a clean catch?
No.
Hawthorne thinks so, but the referee doesn't agree.
Thrown behind him, and that's a completion that should be easy to make. Hawthorne ran a very good pattern. Stout, I think, was just a little bit anxious to get the ball out of his hands.
Trump, early on, it appears that the Steelers are exploiting the middle on those 10 and 12-yard routes pretty well.
Well, Denver is coming in with 5 and 6 defensive backs and dropping 8 guys in coverage, and the only spot open, basically, Bob, is underneath the linebacker coverage.
Zach Thomas, number 82, the rookie, rather than the veteran great punt returner Rick Upchurch, is the deep man here. Colquitt's punt is relatively short. It's going to be good field position for Denver as Thomas gets out of bounds. So a game of cat and mouse early. Each team has been guilty of a turnover. Denver's going to set up at their own 40-yard line with 6 minutes and 43 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Mission complete. We're heading back. Over.
In today's Army, infantrymen like Sergeant Dennis Sirianni are armed with technology.
With the thermal sight, I can turn night into day and guide my unit home. Roger, Bravo 24. We have you in sight.
All that you can be, you can do it in the Army.
Welcome home, guys.
Hurricane Alicia batters Texas.
I started screaming. It was like you were in shock. You saw your home destroyed.
All-state update. Fast, fair claim service.
Thursday morning, Hurricane Alicia came through. This tree fell through our roof. It caused the ceiling in our bathroom and in our son's bedroom to fall on the floor.
We got in touch with Allstate on Friday. By Saturday, we had settled up with Allstate, and they gave us our money, and by Monday, we had the house being rebuilt.
We're in very good hands with Allstate.
Yes, we are.
NFL 83 is coming at you with a special doubleheader Sunday. The Seattle Seahawks take on the New York Sack Exchange. Or the Oilers go up against the explosive LA Raiders. Plus hard-hitting regional action on NBC.
For those wondering about the absence of Upchurch on the punt return team, he's perfectly healthy in that regard, and if it came down to it late in a game, Dan Reeves would use him. But Upchurch is really Reeves' only true deep threat as a wide receiver, and so he doesn't want to risk injury returning punts, so he's holding Upchurch back in that department and using the rookie Zach Thomas.
Denver goes with 2 tight ends. Paul Egloff split wide to the bottom of the screen.
Egloff comes in motion toward the ball. Winder cutting right, and he picks up perhaps 3 on first down. Lawrence Taves and Rick Woods in on the tackle. Woods did not start at free safety, but he is sharing time with Ron Johnson. A flag down, and it's a hold against Denver. A quick check on the scoreboard. The Raiders go in front at Cincinnati on a 1-yard run by who else? Marcus Allen. Houston counters with a field goal. 7-3 is the score in the first quarter in their game with Green Bay. And Baltimore goes in front of New England 3-0. Maybe Frank Bush's club will win one this year. Here's Jerry Seaman.
Holding, number 87, offense.
Jim Wright, one of the 2 tight ends in on the play, guilty of holding.
Well, now the Denver offense has its work cut out for it. You're basically at the mercy of the defense. They can blitz 2 guys. They can blitz 3 guys. Now would be an excellent time for a screen pass, Bob. Keep the pressure off the quarterback. Bob Coors is in there, number 90 for Pittsburgh. Inside rusher.
1st and 20 from the 30. Little confusion on the handoff, and Parros is drilled as a result. Gabe Rivera, first-round draft choice out of Texas Tech. Number 69 makes the stop. They've got an entirely new group for this series across the front. Rivera joined by Edmund Nelson, 64, and Keith Gary, 92.
Elway turned the wrong way. You can see the other running back going to his left. Elway was to turn to his left. Well, that things, and you can't learn by sitting on the bench or doing that preseason. You got to be out here in amongst the big guys to learn how to do it right.
2nd and 21 from the 29. They pitch it to Nathan Poole, and Poole is snuffed out quickly. Tom Beasley making initial contact. It'll be 3rd and about 20.
Now you see what this situation has done. That holding penalty put Denver in a spot where they're really restricted as to what they can do offensively, and now the game is dictated by the defense. They can bring in 5 and 6 defensive backs, and with Denver's inability to throw the football to the tight end, all you have to do is double the outside receivers, and there's basically nobody to throw to.
Dave Preston, 46, and Sammy Winder, 23 are the backs. Elway needs 20. Unloads just as he's hit. It's deflected up in the air and drops incomplete.
He didn't make the completion, but that's part of the mystique of John Elway. You can see him rush up the field. Now watch how quickly he gets this football off. Look at the coverage. 3 deep, 3 underneath. Lambert barely gets a hand on it, but Elway, with that ball held high right up next to his ear, which is very close to the release point, is so quick to get it off. This guy has great fundamentals when he throws the football. For you young kids, watch how he gets that ball up high. Wham! It's gone. That is something you simply cannot teach a quarterback. Either come to the game with it or you don't have it. And that's part of the talent of John Elway.
Keith Willis, playing for the injured John Goodman, who's out with a sprained knee, hit Elway just as he released. Now on 4th and long, Prestige to kick again. The punt return man is Paul Skansky. Rookie out of Washington, 5th round draft choice, takes it at the 25 and to the 31-yard line. A 43-yard kick by Prestige and a 6-yard return. Jim Ryan, number 50, got down there along with Rob Lytle on the coverage. We're still scoreless with 4 minutes and 44 seconds to play in quarter number 1 at Three Rivers. Cliff Stout back to work from the 31-yard line of Pittsburgh. Mentioned earlier that Stout has had only one previous NFL start. He threw for 310 yards in a 27-26 loss to the Browns in 1980. First down, throwing. Abercrombie, a leaping catch, but he's out of bounds when he takes it. Heck of an athletic move nonetheless. I guess the question about Abercrombie is his pass receiving ability in this his 2nd year.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. He just has to somehow gain the confidence of the quarterback spot. He's back there with Franco Harris, and Franco Harris, for the years he's been in the league, someone has to take the pressure off Franco Harris. Abercrombie is the man to do it.
How good a blocker is he, Abercrombie?
Fair at best. He doesn't compare with the likes of Rocky Blyer a few years ago, blocking for Franco, nor does he compare with Sidney Thornton. But pure athletic ability, Abercrombie is something to behold.
Stallworth left, Hawthorne right. On 2nd and 10, it's Harris. Couple of yards, maybe 3. William Andrews takes a 23-yard pass from Steve Bartkowski into the end zone. The kick is missed. 6-0 Falcons over the Bears.
Now you see the change in the NFL. 3rd down and about 7, and 6 different people come in for the Denver Broncos. An entirely new situation now for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. 3 wide receivers, tight end Franco Harris, 1 running back behind, blitz,
and they got him. Barney Chavis was the first man there, I think, but he had plenty of help. There's Chavis, number 79, in his 11th year in the National Football League.
Now, generally, teams will have hot receivers. It's called a blitz outlet. When a man blitzes by him, he's going to turn his head to the quarterback so there's an outlet. There was simply no one to throw to there.
Colquitt, a 2-step punter, never has had one blocked in the NFL. Thomas juggles it. It's still loose. It's out of bounds, and it belongs to Denver. Wright was the man who scooped it up, but it was going out anyway, and it would have been Bronco ball under those circumstances. A 45-yard kick by Colquitt, and the rookie Zach Thomas says, uh-oh. I'm looking at being the goat here, but nobody can find the handle.
We've got a penalty against the Pittsburgh Steelers, illegal man downfield before the punt, but the bad news is for Zach Thomas is all he does for this team is return punts and kickoffs. And he has got to do that job. Dan Reeves wants punt returner to simply make the good catch. He wants possession of the football. Nothing really fancy unless he needs it. Then he brings it up church. Pittsburgh's going to have to punt it again. Now how would you like to be Zach Thomas? Sitting back there thinking, I gotta catch this one.
And knowing they've got one of the game's best.
Ineligible downfield, number 90, kicking team.
In Rick Upchurch, who already holds the record for most yards on punt returns in NFL history. He's returned 8 punts for touchdowns. That ties him with Jack Christensen for the league mark. So with Upchurch always there and at the ready, Thomas has got to shine if he wants to keep that job. Coors was the guilty party on the last play.
Now Pittsburgh is tired. 10 of their 11 men just went through a 42-yard sprint.
Thomas signals fair catch and takes it at the 43-yard line. So the net gain on that exchange is 23 yards for the Broncos. Of South Carolina State have got to be happy today. Zach Thomas is from there. Donnie Shell in the ball game from there. Henry Odom, rookie kick returner for the Steelers. Barney Chavis, who got in on the sack a moment ago of Cliff Stout, all from South Carolina State.
Bob, a comment for the Denver Bronco offense. Throw it now. Throw it right now on first down. When whatever Pittsburgh does the most of, they're going to do it on this down. First down.
Pressure, he unloads. Oh! And the battle is won by Rick Upchurch. Wayne Woodruff was right there, and they each had a hand on it, and Upchurch yanked it away.
Forget the catch. Once again, the athletic ability of John Elway going straight back. He does not set his feet, throws the ball on the line, 25 yards, anticipating where Upchurch will be for a completion. Write that one down. You don't coach that, Bob.
Gabe Rivera, the Steelers' #1 pick, almost had him. But Elway, off balance, connects.
I have a feeling for the rest of his career there's going to be a lot of people say almost had him.
Elway's numbers at Stanford. He threw for 77 touchdowns in his career there. Lots of time this time on first down. He wants it all for Upchurch, but it's taken away by Donnie Shell near the goal line. Is going to be spotted at the 1, which is the only bad news for the Steelers. Their backs will be to the wall. But Donnie Shell, a 10-year veteran, tags Elway with his first NFL interception.
This ball is underthrown. I'm not sure he would have ever gotten it to Rick Upchurch, but there is a tendency for young quarterbacks, Bob, regardless of how talented they are, to make every completion. Watch Shell last year with 5 interceptions, tied along with Woodruff and Ken Riley for the lead in the AFC. Great position player, but you can see Upchurch had to stop for that. But I repeat, the mistake there is simply trying to make every pass a completion. Once again, part of the growing pains of coming into the NFL.
Just trying to wedge out some room, perhaps a yard to the 2. Franco Harris at age 33, the second oldest, I should say, running back in the NFL. John Riggins, last year's Super Bowl hero with the Redskins, is 34. In 11 seasons prior to this campaign in the NFL, Franco Harris has missed only 9 games. Amazingly durable.
Pittsburgh now with 3 wide receivers.
From the end zone on a short drop. Hawthorne makes the catch, but only for 3 yards. Louis Wright quickly drags him down.
Bob Swenson almost made the interception on that. He had his back turned to the quarterback. That ball went right by his hand. Two guys excellent in combination. Swenson up front, Louis right behind.
The last two times Denver has gotten the ball, it has been beyond their own 40-yard line. Unless Pittsburgh gets a first down here, the same will apply again. In a scoreless game, you begin to feel if there's any advantage at all, it belongs to Denver at this point.
Real position, yes.
Hawthorne makes the catch and slips away. Hawthorne for a first down at the 24. 18 yards on the pickup.
That play certainly got him off the hook. It appeared that Denver went to the prevent defense between Smith on top of Gradishar. Hawthorne, another very, very talented player that they're simply trying to work into the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. This has in the past been such a patterned offense with Franco Harris carrying it, Lynn Swan catching it, John Stallworth catching it. Now they've got to find new stars.
We're in the last half minute of the first quarter. Franco for one very tough yard out to the 25 in the grasp of Randy Gradishar. Don Latimer, number 72, also there.
Denver also doing an excellent job holding Pittsburgh to very few yards rushing on that first down, which seems to be the secret to win in the NFL. Keep them out of that second long defense.
That'll do it for the first 15 minutes of football. This 1983 season, no score at Three Rivers. Elway with his first taste of NFL action.
Here comes the most advanced team.
Justice along with Bob Trumpy at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh from the 25-yard line of the Steelers. It'll be second down and 9. Steelers with the 7-4 edge.
Yeah, but only 3-yard average for first down. Very indignant. Fumble.
Squirts back. Rulon Jones was there for Denver. Let's see if he's the guy who comes up with it. He is.
Got it. Franco got blistered. Absolutely blistered.
And that's the second time that Franco has fumbled today and the second time that Rulon Jones has recovered.
Historically, a very, very slow starter. Last year, he rushed for 100 yards against the Dallas Cowboys. It was the best opening day he ever had in his career. Watch once again how quick the Denver defense is there. Good blitz on the inside. Tom Jackson makes the contact. Rulon Jones, the recovery, and once again, great field position for the Denver Broncos. If they can't get it in here, they got real problems today.
Elway needs to take them 20 yards to the end zone. Winder cuts inside. First down, first and goal, all the way down to the 2-yard line.
That's a Pittsburgh Steelers play. Once again, I believe the influence of Dan Radakovich, former offensive line here, underneath handoff to the running back. You see the offside guard pull, 63, does an excellent job, cuts up underneath shell. Winder's got some speed. That is a monster of a play against a very, very good defense against the rush. To pop one through there like that so clean.
Chuck Noll, watching from the sideline. It's hard to believe that a fella could have as much success in American sports, 4 Super Bowl victories, and be less of a household name and a household face than Noll. Extremely low profile despite the great achievements. 2 tight ends, Egloff and Wright. On first and goal from the 2-yard line, Winder is smacked, spins off, close to a touchdown, but not quite. Woodruff, who made the touchdown-saving tackle a moment ago, also hit him first, along with Lambert on that play.
The picture of Lambert, he missed the tackle. Very unusual for Jack Lambert. Winder was able to get underneath of Lambert's arms and turn a loss into a gain.
Less than a yard separates the Broncos from the end zone. Less than 2 minutes have been played in the second quarter. So far, scoreless. Winder sticks his nose in, but there are plenty of black shirts waiting for him. It'll be third and goal. Cole was there. Ron Johnson, Gary Dunn.
This is the stuff that the legend of the Steel Curtain defense here in Pittsburgh was made of. Stopping teams with 4 downs inside the 2-yard line through the decade of the 70s was something that was very commonplace for visiting teams here in Three River Stadium.
The Steelers were #1 in the NFL last year in defense against the rush. They were relatively weak in defense against the pass, but they held their opponents to less than 100 yards a game on the ground. Harris and Winder the backs. It's Winder again, and he's there. Touchdown, Denver. So the rookie from Southern Mississippi makes it 6-0. Elway did not have to throw a pass on that drive. Winder carried the ball every time.
Good job by the right side of the Denver Bronco offensive line. Excellent block by Peros. This gives Winder a small little opening there, and he's able to squirt through for the Broncos' first 6 points of this 1983 season. And that's something by itself. They have not scored an awful lot of points in the preseason. In fact, they won 3 games and were outscored. They only had 1 loss.
Steve DeBerg is the holder. Rich Carlos will kick. It's 7-0 Broncos. So the fumble recovery by Rulon Jones after Franco Harris coughed it up leads to the game's first TD with 12:38 to play in the half.
Who was American?
Carlos, the barefooted kicker, with Henry Odom, number 44, waiting at the 5-yard line of the Steelers. Carlos backs him to the end zone. He fumbles. He picks it back up and to the 25-yard line. So it looked like it might be a whole lot worse than that for Odom and the Steelers. Turns it into a decent return.
Pittsburgh now must get something going offensively. They have really sputtered. They've had a couple of bright spots, but look at the first down average. The Steelers only 3 yards in 7 plays, 7 first down plays. That means they're 2nd and 7, and once again at the mercy of the Denver Bronco defense. That has got to improve. The Broncos not much better at 4.2, but 2 turnovers have certainly helped them.
Stout from the 25-yard line. Right into traffic, and he finds Benny Cunningham for the first down. Steve Busick and Randy Gradishar, along with Mike Harden, are among those who wrapped him up. But not before a gain of at least 11. Let's see where they'll put it down. Call it a 12-yard pickup on the completion. 11:50 to play in the first half. 7-0 Denver. Stout fakes the give to Abercrombie. Uncorks one over the middle. Man wide open. It's John Stallworth with the 300th catch of his NFL career.
Good play action fake by Cliff Stout. Held the linebackers to the line of scrimmage. We got a flag on Pittsburgh. They're going to bring it back. Nevertheless, excellent execution. Good hand fake to Abercrombie, and then he had the time to wait for Stallworth to come open.
So Stallworth will have to wait officially for catch number 300. Jerry Seaman is going to walk it off. Lynn Swan is the all-time leading receiver, 336 catches, followed by L.B. Nickel at 329 in Pittsburgh history. Stallworth has a chance to pass them both.
Number 66, offense.
Ted Peterson and Bob, I make this comment. I'm very surprised that the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line is having problems against the Denver Bronco defensive line. Take nothing away from Denver's defense. It is outstanding. Pittsburgh's offensive line, great pass protectors.
1st and 20, Franco makes the catch. Stutter steps out to the 32-yard line for a pickup of about 7 on the play. Bob Swenson made the tackle. Uwe von Schaman connects from 32. Miami jumps in front of Buffalo. Rob Carpenter's touchdown run, followed by a missed point after, gives the Giants a 6-3 lead over the Rams in New Jersey. And Minnesota lengthens their lead on the Browns to 10-0 on a Benny Ricardo field goal from 22 yards. Detroit side has a safety in there as Doug English tackled Jerry Goldstein in the end zone, and they lead Tampa Bay 5-0. Stout pumping long. Sweeney hit just as the ball arrived on an excellent defensive play. The pass was delivered perfectly by Stout. It looked like Steve Foley.
I think it was Mike Harden who made the...
You're right. It's Harden first, and Foley got there late. It's Harden who made the real play, Trump.
He covered an awful lot of ground in a very short distance. Sweeney was wide open, had to wait on the ball ever so slightly. Allowed Harden to make up about 6 yards. And once again, now Denver comes in with an entirely different set of defensive people. Third down and about, 15?
Up, uncorks one. He's got a man open, but he overthrew him. Sweeney was the target again, and he had perhaps a step and a half on Harden.
Now, wait a minute. This is not supposed to happen. Third down and 15. Defensive coaches Joe Collier tells defensive backs, don't let anybody get behind you. Well, it looks like Sweeney comes from the inside. Harden just misjudged his speed. And if this ball is on the money, it's 6 points.
Line to field it. Zach Thompson gets back across the 25. It's a 56-yard kick by Craig Colquitt, who had to battle with John Goodson in training camp to win his kicking job back. Elway and his company have a 7-0 lead, and we're coming right back. Pittsburgh, Bob Costas along with Bob Trumpy. I was thinking as we try to assess the performance of a John Elway at Stanford after sitting in his first year behind Turk Schonert, when Schonert was a senior and setting all kinds of passing records. Elway's clubs, despite all of Elway's achievements, only went 15 and 18 in the next 3 years, never went to a bowl game. He was not surrounded by excellent teammates. The same may be true initially here in Denver as he goes to the air on first down. And it's broken up by Woodruff. Intended for Watson. You take a look at the Denver roster. They don't know if they have a tight end who can catch the ball consistently. Will Height is hurt among their backs. Vlasic is hurt on their offensive line, which is a question mark. So Elway, through no fault of his own, might not take them to the promised land right away.
But one of the good things about the NFL is that every year you get new blood. And he is a great cornerstone to build a franchise around. I was fortunate enough to be on the field the first time Ken Anderson took snap from center, and they've certainly built a good football team around him. They've got time. They keep him healthy. He has the credentials and the ability to really turn a football franchise around.
A flag goes down, and so does Sammy Winder as he comes across the 30 in the grasp of Jack Lambert. The Raiders jump on the Bengals in Cincy by a score of 14-0. Cincinnati with a troubled offseason, drug problems surrounding some players, defections to the USFL. Miami's lead is 6-0 on a pair of Von Schamann field goals. By the way, both Raider touchdowns at Cincinnati on 1-yard runs by Marcus Allen. Green Bay 14-10 over Houston in the second at Houston. And New England on a Steve Grogan to Steve Starring pass with the extra point missed, leads 6-3 over Baltimore. There have been a lot of PATs missed on this first weekend.
Penalty against Pittsburgh. 5-yard penalty. I believe they had a defensive lineman, Tom Beasley, lined up in the neutral zone. Second down and 5.
For a loss, shy of the 30-yard line, with Ron Johnson on top of him. Let's check with NFL 83.
Well, Bob Costas, you mentioned the New England score a moment ago. Here it is. Steve Grogan bombs away 73 yards to a rookie from McNeese State, Stephen Starring. But as you mentioned, the point extra attempt was missed, so New England leads at 6-3. Back to you, Bob.
Just under 10 minutes remaining in this first half at Pittsburgh, and a player down, Trump.
Someone from Pittsburgh, and the last play that Denver just ran, that underneath handoff sweep. Oh, it's, I beg your pardon, it's someone from Denver. Same play they ran for the touchdown.
We are an explorer, a farmer, a miner, and an
Chuck Cooper was the injured Denver player, heretofore perhaps best known as John Elway's roommate. He was a second-round draft choice. They took another offensive lineman, Chris Hinton, from Northwestern in the first round. And Hinton, as you know, was part of the deal with Baltimore, which brought Elway to Denver. Sean Hollingsworth from Angelo State, also a rookie, replaces Cooper at the left guard spot.
We'll watch that spot closely.
Third down, 8. From the shotgun, Elway.
Good.
On the button. The catch is made by Clint Sampson. His first NFL reception, a rookie from San Diego State, number 84, and a gain of 17.
We got a flag down.
Denver's holding, so that's going to be negated. Chuck Noll, got a look at him on the Pittsburgh sideline. He's had to do some retooling here. Jerry Seaman's announcement.
Use a hand. Number 40.
Some problems with the official's microphone, as you may have noticed early on here. We apologize for that. I started to mention Chuck Noll and some of the changes he's had to make here. There are still 9 players on this roster who played on all 4 Super Bowl champions, but there are 23 players with 2 years or less of NFL experience on the Steeler team. Third and 18, Elway ducks out of some trouble. But ultimately, down he goes. Tom Beasley, number 65, cut him down. Excellent job by the Pittsburgh secondary because Elway was looking and nothing opened up.
Well, I think John Elway would have been better off going for the completion. I think he was looking for the first down yardage, and at times you just can't get that done. Holding his arm there down to his side. I hope it's all right. A very valuable commodity. I notice also he plays without a flak jacket. He either landed on his elbow or got hit on the elbow. And believe me, there'll be a covey of doctors looking at that arm in just a second.
Scansey fields it. Paul Scansey is near midfield. Before the whistle blows, his forward progress stopped right about at the 50-yard line. And this is the best field position that the Steelers have enjoyed upon regaining possession. Elway looks to be ship-shape on the sideline, and the Broncos have that 7-0 lead with 8:45 to play, just in case DeBerg gets warm. You notice the kind of lumpy look in the back of Steve DeBerg's jersey. During preseason, he got hit in the throat, lost his voice, and fairly whispered. He's got a microphone and an amplifier, just in case he has to come into the game and bark out signals, or more appropriately, whisper out signals, which will be amplified. On first down, Stout connects with Sweeney. Louis Wright brings him down, and some hard feelings develop. Tom Jackson comes over as an enforcer to shove Sweeney out of the way. It's a gain of 12, and Sweeney's been getting open pretty consistently, Trump.
Replacing Lynn Swan, which is a tough job. These are 2 intimidating type football teams. Sweeney does an excellent job of coming back to the ball, and I think Sweeney is mad at number 58. Busick kind of slapped him on the head there a little bit, but as the officials call it, incidental contact, first and 10 Pittsburgh. That phrase was incidental contact.
We knew what you meant.
Thank you.
7:50 to play in the first half. Pittsburgh down 7, but driving. 37-yard line of Denver. The fake to Abercrombie. The bullet over the middle is intercepted. Picked off by Steve Foley. There's a flag down on the play. Hard Harden comes up with the ball off the lateral, and Harden is dancing around in Pittsburgh territory, changing direction. This is probably going to come back, but it looks awfully pretty. Harden is in the end zone, and now we'll let the officials sort it out.
It's going to be pass interference, Steve Foley. Although we were led to believe that both people have a chance to go to the football. Both offensive and defensive football player can go to the football. But contact just as the ball was about to get to Sweeney by Steve Foley. Interesting, on the ground at about the left 26 or 27-yard line is Craig Wolfley, a very important member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Offensive guard is down and appears to be seriously injured. This is going to be against Denver. But it did appear that they were both going for the football. That's why Dan Reeves is complaining so vehemently.
Reeves' club went 10-6 in his first year, then suffered through 2-7 in the strike season.
Once again, we'll see if we can see the contact. There's the bump. Good call by the officials. I don't believe anybody has a complaint from Denver.
Interference. Number 31.
They called 31, but it was on 43.
Now that the dad's to Reeves' complaint, he's over there saying, hey, you don't even know what ball player you're talking about.
Doesn't change the interference. There's Wolfley up. He seems to be healthy. That was a good call by the officials. Steve Foley, free safety, playing center field back there. It's his job to get to the football, but just a split second off the timing. That is a good call, Dan. When you look at it in the films, you'll say, well, you're right.
Sets the Steelers up at the Bronco 19. 7:24 on the second quarter clock. Franco, the lone setback. Stout looks right, then throws left over the middle to Sweeney. A flag goes down, but Sweeney has the ball, so it's pass interference. It's academic.
I think now we've got illegal motion by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he turned up, Calvin Sweeney turned upfield too soon. Illegal procedure, Pittsburgh Steelers. Now the shame in that is Calvin Sweeney was coming back to the formation looking right straight at the quarterback. There's Stout. Looks right.
Motion. Number 85.
That's what it was. Calvin Sweeney turned up the field too soon.
There have been turnovers and penalties galore in this first half. Denver leading at 7-0. Now first and 15 from the 24. Abercrombie finds some room, gets to the 19, gain of 5. Cincinnati gets a 38-yard field goal from Chris Barr. 14-3, they still trail in the second quarter.
No. Chris Barr kicks for Oakland, for Los Angeles. That's got to be Jim Breach. Excuse me.
You are absolutely right, although the card said Chris Barr. I should have known better.
Jim Breach is a kicker for Cincinnati. 10-7, Minnesota over Cleveland.
And second and 10 from the 19-yard line. Intercepted by Jackson. Tom Jackson has the ball. Flags fly.
Flip.
Jackson down at the 15.
Flip on number 50 of the Denver Broncos. Jim Ryan, but I cannot believe the turnover. Well, this ball is catchable. Sweeney has certainly been the hot target. That ball is catchable. Went right through his hands. Jackson in the right spot at the right time. And you can see the clip right there. I believe it was on Benny Cunningham by Mr. Ryan. Watch right there.
Block after the interception. Oh. Number 51, intercepting team.
51, Bob Swenson. I apologize to Mr. Ryan, but nevertheless, the clip stands.
The clock stops with 6 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the second quarter. Denver turns the Steelers away and takes the ball back at their own 5.
Like this kicks up a tremendous amount of dust.
Marcus Allen for the Raiders, last year's leading NFL scorer, off to a big start again this year. We'll have details on NFL 83 on our halftime report.
Well, each club has had their chances. The only one which has been cashed in, Denver took over on the 20 following a Franco Harris fumble and a recovery by Rulon Jones. And 4 carries by Sammy Winder later, they were in the end zone. That's it, 7-0. Now 95 yards from the Steeler end zone. Rick Parros carries, the third-year man from Utah State. Gets 2, perhaps 3 yards on first down. Lambert and Taves made the defensive play.
Bob, Sean Hollingsworth still in at offensive left guard, replacing Cooper, who was out with an ankle sprain. We don't know how serious, but Hollingsworth's still in there. He is a rookie out of Angelo State, and that is a critical injury to the Denver offensive line. They're not very deep there to begin with. Good luck, young man.
There he is, number 73. A while ago on the sideline, DeBerg was warming up because Elway took a shot on his elbow the last time Denver had the ball, but obviously Elway's okay. Egloff was dancing around, a moment of confusion, and the flag undoubtedly against Denver. And the fellow we were talking about, Hollingsworth, number 73, is evidently the guilty party, the rookie.
We apologize for the microphone. You can see Hollingsworth, 73, a little anxious. That's understandable.
Aha! It was Chris Barr who kicked the field goal from 38 yards out, and it's 17-0 rather than 14-3. The Raiders pouring it on Cincinnati. Is the lone setback. He gets the ball running out of the end zone, and he bursts right up the middle for a first down. Nathan Poole to the 23-yard line.
Excellent call by Dan Reeves. Tackled by Ron Johnson, 17 yards on the carry. It appeared that Elway was going to roll out the pass, and you'll see him roll right. Poole takes a couple of steps. Excellent misdirection play. Good blocks up front, too. Taves on the ground. Boy, that's a big play. Gets them out underneath the shadow of their own goalpost.
Trump, we saw that score a moment ago with the Raiders 17-0 over the Bengals. As I recall, the lone loss. Elway wants it all. He's pumping deep and broken up by Woodruff. Intended for Watson. The lone loss that the Raiders absorbed in the regular season last year came against the Bengals at Cincinnati, so they're getting their revenge today.
And they shut Marcus Allen out. He had 8 carries for no yards. Elway's stats certainly not impressive, but I'm sure he'd rather win the football game, regardless of his personal stats, than never throw an incompletion on the afternoon.
During the NFL 83 pregame show, we took a look at the performance of some other noted quarterbacks who were much ballyhooed coming out of college, the Namaths, the Bradshaws, and those are the 2 guys that Elway has been likened to most frequently during the preseason, and they broke in relatively slowly, and their clubs didn't reach heights until several years later. Nathan Poole carrying again. Steve Grogan to Stanley Morgan for a 50-yard touchdown. New England over Baltimore, 13-3. It's in the second quarter at Foxborough.
Now the situation substitution by the Pittsburgh Steelers. 6 new people came into the ball game. Four-man rush by Pittsburgh. 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs.
On third down 8. Elway fires throws another long one, but there's nobody in the vicinity.
Good choice. Good choice. You know, I realize that Dan Reeves comes out of the Dallas Cowboy offense. It seems to me that in third down and long yardage situations, when you go to that shotgun, you give carte blanche to the defensive line. They can rush 5 guys. Chances are, 90% of the time, you're going to throw the ball. I wonder if they put Elway up underneath center in third down and long yardage situations, if it would change the defensive front that the Pittsburgh Steelers would use.
There's Scansey, the rookie from Washington, awaiting the kick by Prestige. Good kick, drives him back to the 23. And doesn't get to the 30. A 54-yard kick by Luke Prestige. And Nathan Poole, playing on the special teams as well as from scrimmage, got down there to make the tackle. A return of 5, and NFL 83 is coming up at halftime. Len Berman, Bill McAtee and company get you updated on all the scores.
Not very productive, would you agree? Certainly not in keeping with the way the Pittsburgh Steelers have played in past years.
I'll say this for Stout, though, Trump, except for the one time when he overthrew Sweeney, who was wide open on what might have been a long touchdown. His throws have been on the money. Some have been broken up by good defensive plays. At least one has been dropped. But he's been accurate. He wants Sweeney on this one. He overthrows it.
Lewis right on the coverage, and Cliff Stout calls his own plays. And that was a hook and go by Calvin Sweeney, which is probably on the last page of the playbook of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Watch this pattern. He goes to Louis right, stops, and then heads up the field. That, to me, is a sign of desperation. Trying to get it all back in a hurry. When the Pittsburgh Steeler offense, I believe, is a superior offense, they've only given the ball to Franco Harris, I think, twice. They've gone away from the run.
Abercrombie on 2nd and 10. Abercrombie has 5 yards. Steve Busick makes the tackle. Rulon Jones also there.
Stout's got to do a better job of calling the plays. Here comes Frank Pollard into the ballgame, number 30, maybe with the play from the sideline. No, it's Calvin Sweeney coming in. His stats are very, very misleading. 7 of 15 for over 80 yards. But it does appear, and this might be because it's just his second start ever, he's trying to get it all, and he's trying to get it all in a hurry.
5 defensive backs, Denver. 5 yards needed for Pittsburgh. Sideline to Hawthorne, very close. I think he's got it. Ball's going to be at about the 40, and it will be a Pittsburgh first down. Roger Jackson, number 28, in his second year from Bethune-Cookman, made the defensive play, but too late.
Excellent call. That one came from the bench. Abercrombie comes back in, and he just relayed another play to Cliff Stout.
Chicago leading Atlanta 10-6. Falcons had led 6-0. Then McMahon hit Marjoram for 8 yards and a touchdown. Bob Thomas a 29-yard field goal. 10-6 Bears in the second at Chicago. Stout rolling left off the fake. Pointing toward a blocker to help him clear the way, but he didn't need it. Skips out of bounds. Got another first down on the play. Picked up 11 to the 49-yard line of Denver.
Now that to me is a little better line of thinking. You cannot be impatient in this game. Try to find something that will work and work consistently. And so far it appears the Pittsburgh Steelers are searching. Now this is a Cliff Stout called play. No player came from the sideline.
Another first down pass. Caught by Benny Cunningham at the 35-yard line.
And that has worked. That's about the third time that Benny Cunningham has been in the dead spot in the zone between two 34 linebackers for a first down completion. Excellent choice.
Moving down toward 2 minutes to play in the first half. 7-0 Denver. Hi. Preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League.
Now the most important play here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as you watch Stout, Malone talk with Chuck Noll on the headset, Greg Hawthorne behind them, number 27, is to simply hang on to the football. They've been down here before, and a fumble, and Denver gets new life.
I wonder what Malone's thoughts are concerning, there's Anderson, the kicker. Gary Anderson, who was just outstanding last year in his rookie season for Syracuse. I wonder what Malone's thoughts are about Elway. Malone, a former #1 draft choice himself out of Arizona State.
That's the Steeler brain trust there.
Out with all kinds of time and with a target, Hawthorne. Hawthorne gives them 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
Well thrown by Stoutbound. Sat in there good. A little play action. And threw back across. Hawthorne is the guy they're trying to work in at wide receiver. Was drafted originally as a running back. And in an effort to take some pressure off John Stallworth, they use Hawthorne as a wide receiver, would like to do so a great deal.
Abercrombie and Franco Harris are the running backs. 1st and goal just across the 5. Hawthorne in motion. Franco gets the pitch. He's there. Touchdown. For Franco Harris, career touchdown number 94. He moves out of a tie with Jim Taylor and into 4th place on the all-time touchdown scored list behind Jim Brown, who holds the record at 126, Lenny Moore, who has 113, and Don Hudson, the legendary pass receiver of the Packers, who scored 105. 94th career touchdown for Franco. Anderson ties the game at 7.
As it's been for Pittsburgh to run the ball throughout this first half, this was entirely too easy. Hawthorne comes in motion. Just a simple pitch. Good job up front. Untouched. Into the end zone. Louis right on the tackle. But not until 6 points are scored. Let's watch Abercrombie. He gets a great block up front on Steve Foley. Cuts his legs out from underneath him. There's no one there for support.
Anderson to kick it off for the Steelers. And this kid from Syracuse is a story. Hit 10 of 12 field goals last year. 5 of 5 between 40 and 49 yards. In college with the Orange Men, he never missed a point after touchdown. Made 72 in a row. And yet he was waived by Buffalo after they took him in the 7th round of the draft last year. Pittsburgh picked him up on waivers, and what an acquisition he was. Deep in the end zone, will bring it out and might bust it. Zach Thomas still on his feet and out to the 39-yard line.
Well, that atones for the fumble. That's an excellent return, and it also comes at a very, very good time. Now, with very little time left, 1:02 in the first half. Let's see how Elway and company works in a 2-minute drill. They have not thrown the ball at the tight end. He's completed but 1 pass on the day. I believe he's thrown 8. Look at there. See the difference in the second quarter? 6.6 first down yardage average.
Right, Watson left. In trouble, he jumps it. Steelers want a flag, and there it is. The 2 white shirts he threw it in the direction of were not eligible receivers.
But underneath the pile was Rick Barrows, number which is 10 yards and the loss of down.
The key on intentional grounding, did you throw it away to avoid loss of yardage? If you're in no imminent danger of being sacked, then you can throw the ball up into row 12 if you want to, but he was about to be sacked on the play by Bob Coors. He dumped it to avoid loss of yardage. Intentional grounding call.
I said he'd thrown 8 passes, 1 of 6. Now.
Intentional grounding, number 6. Step down.
Well, half the time with our technical problems, it's a pantomime by Jerry Seaman, but we know you get the idea. And Elway's getting the idea as well. A very difficult baptismal for him here in the first half. And he falls down off the snap. Just for good measure, Gary Dunn and Mike Merriweather arrive on the scene.
Now, I'll tell you what caused that. The 2 defensive tackles of the Pittsburgh Steelers were really up on the football. There was obviously a game on the snap of the ball by the 2 defensive tackles. One of the guards, in his effort to get set up, I think the center steps on it. Billy Bryant puts his foot right on Elway's foot, knocks him down. He trips him. That was caused by those 2 defensive tackles right up on the ball. I wonder if he's saying, hey, Dan, this is the way it was at Stanford. They're hoping for a storybook finish in Denver. Just to show you how much attention this young man has created there. There were more rooms booked for the press covering John Elway in his debut than there were for the football team here in Pittsburgh.
Speaking of quarterbacks, a couple who are already established as among the game's best will be on display in the second half of our doubleheader. Most of you will see Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen calling the action. The Jets and Richard Todd at San Diego against Dan Fouts and company. Others will see Seattle at Kansas City. I don't think the word hysteria is an exaggeration to describe the reaction to the arrival of Elway in Denver. Early in preseason, 6 obscure players were cut. TV sportscaster greeted that development by saying, well, at least they can tell their grandchildren that they worked out, they practiced with Elway. And maybe someday they will be telling that story, depending upon how things turn out.
Of course, football fans are impatient. I repeat, this young man is a great cornerstone for a franchise. If they can keep him healthy and build around him, there is a very bright future for the Denver Broncos. You can't judge this man's ability on one play. I would expect a blitz here. Even though it's 3rd down and long, I'd expect a blitz here.
3rd and very long. Trump, they need 26. Trouble with the snap. He gives it to Winder. A gain of little consequence. A flag flies after the whistle is blown.
That's going to be a 1st down. There was an elbow thrown in somebody's face. Bad choice by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Personal foul. Pittsburgh. I believe that's 15 yards and carries an automatic 1st down.
And comes at a most inopportune time from Chuck Noll's perspective.
Especially because their field goal kicker, Rich Carlos, is a great long field goal kicker. And it gives Denver new life.
First down, says Jerry Seaman.
See if we can read lips here.
Number 50.
That's Jack Lambert, number 58. It's right at the end of the play. That right elbow right to the head. Well, this is an intimidating football team.
Jack Lambert, 8 straight Pro Bowl appearances, tying a mark for linebackers.
Shotgun, look for the blitz.
Here it is. Elway escapes, but not the second time. Keith Willis smothered him. Another flag is down.
We got a conference, and there appears to be a flag over on the sideline. Now, one point I want to make about the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive linemen. They have 6 guys who can play and play at any time. Let's hear what the call is.
There is no infraction interception on the way. Number 58, the quarterback was out of the pocket. Consequently, there's no illegal contact.
Oh, I see. They were saying illegal contact on Dave Preston on the sideline, but because Elway became a runner, there was no threat to pass. The point about the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive linemen, all of those guys run 40s under 4.8. That is exceptional speed for guys at 260 or 65 pounds. Keith Willis runs 4.7 at 260 pounds. They can run around most offensive linemen and chase down quarterbacks. That, too, is the wave of the future in professional football. Gabriel Rivera at 290 pounds runs 4.7 in the 40.
They lose 17 on the sack by Willis. Now they want to keep it on the ground. Nathan, was he ever smacked by Mel Blount? Blount today becomes only the second Steeler in history to play in 14 seasons. Ernie Scottner was the first between 1950 and 63, and Terry Bradshaw will become the third when he gets back on the active roster. We're just going to let it run out. Pittsburgh has timeouts remaining, but they elect not to use them. Tied at 7 as we go to the locker room.
I think that's a surprise to most people. A lot of people felt that the Pittsburgh Steelers would flat run over John Elway and the Denver Broncos, but turnovers by the Steelers have allowed Denver to stay in the game.
Well, the Steelers racked up 19 quarterback sacks in preseason, including 8 in their last preseason game, a win over the Eagles. And they have put some serious pressure on Elway today. And yet the Broncos come out of it no worse than tied at halftime. From a national side of Steeler fans, and there are many of those naturally, but from a national perspective, the story was Elway. But in the first half, the defenses have really written the story of this game.
You're absolutely right, Robert. You can't ask more of the two defenses. Pittsburgh has really put a lot of pressure on Elway. He's still only completed one pass. For Cliff Stout and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they really haven't put anything offensively together. But John Elway is still the story. Whether he makes it or not, succeeds or not, he is the story. The most celebrated draft choice. Early blitz, just missed his first completion there. We'll watch Lambert once again get to him. This is when Elway fumbles. You see the mistake. He takes his hand off the ball. Ball is loose, recovered by Gary Dunn. But look at the ability this young man has. Going straight back, throws the ball 30 yards on a line to Rick Upchurch for a completion. And Denver's only scores. Sammy Winder gets down to about the 1-yard line. They finally pop it in after 3 tries. Winder again. And we'll be back to Pittsburgh 7-7 after this.